The Wolftrap grid hummed with a frequency that made most species nauseous. That was the point. The Crindle Corporation had designed it to be as unpleasant as possible. A deterrent, they called it. A humane way to keep scavengers from raiding their supply depots on the outer rim colonies. Lyra Holland didn't give a damn what they called it. She crouched in the shadow of a rusted cargo container, her scanner painting thermal signatures across her visor's display. 3 small forms hung suspended in the invisible web of electromagnetic force, twisting slowly like grotesque ornaments. The grid didn't kill. It just held. Held until security arrived. Or until dehydration did the corporation's dirty work. 2 hours, Lyra muttered, checking the timestamp on her wrist display. 2 hours those cubs had been hanging there. Their small bodies jerking occasionally as the grid pulsed. Their species, Velshera, the locals called them, weren't built for this kind of stress. Their cardiovascular systems would start failing soon. The largest cub had already stopped struggling. Lyra's jaw tightened. She'd seen a lot of ugliness in her 15 years working salvage on the frontier, but this crossed a line. These weren't raiders or pirates. They were children, probably just hungry, probably just following instincts older than any human corporation. She pulled the signal jammer from her pack, a beautiful piece of illegal tech she'd liberated from a dead smuggler 3 months back, and activated it. The device whirred to life, its display cycling through frequencies as it searched for the grid's control wavelength. "Come on," she whispered. "Come on, you bastard." The Wolftrap grid was military grade, designed by species who'd been waging war when humanity was still figuring out fire. Breaking it shouldn't be possible for a lone salvager with second-hand equipment and a stubborn streak. But Lyra Holland had learned long ago that "shouldn't be possible" was just another way of saying nobody's tried hard enough yet. The jammer beeped. Lock acquired. Humans had a reputation in the galactic community. They were reckless, unpredictable. They saw problems as challenges rather than impossibilities. The Crindle Corporation had installed the Wolftrap grid because every other species had accepted it as an immovable reality. They'd forgotten that humans specialized in moving immovable things. Lyra's fingers danced across the jammer's interface, feeding it a cascade of counter-frequencies. The grid's hum shifted, dropped half an octave. The cubs twitched, their suspended forms dropping a few centimeters before the grid compensated, pulling them back up. "Easy," Lyra said, though they couldn't hear her. Almost there. The smallest cub, Kren, she decided to call him, after a Velshara word she'd learned meant survivor, let out a weak cry. His striped fur was matted with sweat. His oversized ears folded back against his skull in distress. Lyra worked faster. The thing about human stubbornness was that it came with an engine other species couldn't quite comprehend. Humans didn't just refuse to give up. They got angry. And angry humans were dangerous in ways that had nothing to do with weapons or strength. They innovated. The jammer's display flashed green. The Wolftrap grid's hum rose to a piercing whine, then cut out completely. The 3 cubs dropped like stones. Lyra was already moving. She'd calculated the trajectories, positioned herself perfectly. Her arms caught Kren first, the smallest, the most vulnerable. His claws reflexively dug into her jacket as she twisted, using her momentum to cushion the fall of the second cub with her shoulder. The third, the largest, hit the ground hard but rolled, his species' natural flexibility absorbing the impact. Alarms shrieked across the depot. Lyra had maybe 90 seconds before security drones arrived. She didn't need 90 seconds. Kren clung to her chest, trembling. His large eyes, 3 of them, arranged in a triangle on his face, blinked up at her in confusion and terror. The other 2 cubs scrambled close, instinctively seeking protection from this strange, 2-eyed creature who smelled wrong but had freed them. "It's okay," Lyra said softly, knowing they couldn't understand her words but hoping they'd catch her tone. "I've got you." She scooped up the other 2 cubs, one under each arm, and ran. The security drone's searchlights cut through the darkness behind her, their mechanical voices demanding she halt and surrender. Lyra laughed, actually laughed, as she vaulted over a broken fence and disappeared into the warren of abandoned structures that bordered the depot. Humans were pack-bonding idiots. Every other species in the galaxy knew this. They'd bond with anything their own kind. Other species, animals, plants, even their machines. They'd risk their lives for creatures they'd never met, simply because those creatures needed help. It was irrational, inefficient, stupid. It was also why humans had a reputation for being unkillable, because a human protecting something they'd claimed as theirs, even 3 alien cubs they'd known for all of 5 minutes, became something beyond dangerous. They became inevitable. Lyra reached her ship just as the first security team rounded the corner behind her. She slapped the ramp release, and the old freighter's cargo bay opened with a hydraulic hiss. She dove inside with the cubs, hitting the emergency closure. The ramp sealed. Engines roared to life. "Hang on, little ones," Lyra said, strapping Kren and his siblings into crash webbing meant for cargo. Their eyes were wide, but they'd stopped struggling. Something in them recognized safety when they felt it. The ship lifted off as security bolts pinged off the hull. Lyra pushed the throttle forward, and the depot fell away beneath them, growing smaller until it was just another point of light in an endless dark. She looked back at the 3 cubs. Kren chirped a sound, somewhere between a purr and a whistle. His siblings joined in, creating a strange harmony. Lyra smiled. Yeah, we made it. She'd find their family, or she'd find them a new one. Either way, they were hers now. She'd claimed them the moment she'd decided the Wolftrap grid was coming down. And when a human claimed something, the universe had learned to step aside. Because humanity had a saying, "Not on my watch." And Lyra Holland's watch was just getting started.